Welcome, everybody, to the Ogden Way podcast. I'm Ogden City Mayor Ben Nadolski, and we are in the studio talking about Ogden stories by telling the stories of Ogden's people. Now, Heidi Wade works for the Weber Human Services, but you are the director of the
Senior Companion
Companions program. And this is a program that I wouldn't have known about unless you had invited me to one of your events, right?
Yes.
And this is one of the things that I love most about this job, and what I told you at the event is that we get to see different parts of Ogden than we know exist. And I got to learn a lot more about your program, but I got to know a lot more about the people that participate in the program, especially, right?
Right. Yes.
So it was such a treat for me, and I wanted to share that same treat with everybody else. Can you tell us about your program?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for coming to our recognition event.
Of course.
Our people were just ecstatic to have you there. Our program is unique in the sense that it is a seniors serving seniors program. So we reach out to socially isolated seniors in the area and pair them up with one of our seniors that has been kind of trained in various areas to go out and visit them, take them to the store, maybe take them to the doctor, and really overall help them re-engage in the community and participate in life with good quality again, give them some purpose to their day. And then, of course, in turn, it helps our seniors feel like they're doing a service to our community as well. So it's mutually beneficial. So,
yeah, when you said gives purpose to their day, it really goes both ways, right?
It absolutely does. I think that that's one of the things that nobody really talks about once seniors reach retirement and their days are completely free. If they don't fill it with other activities or things of that nature, they just feel useless. And everybody wants to feel important and helpful and needed. And so once we get them on our program and get them out helping other seniors to feel that that they are, what would the word be? They're a desirable person to engage with and they can get out of their house. The impact is immeasurable. It is so wonderful to see.
Well, you said everybody wants to feel like they're an important person, right?
Right.
And I think what you're getting at is everybody wants to know that they fulfill a meaning in life, right?
Absolutely.
And it's whether you're finding meaning for yourself or finding meaningful for or with others, right?
Right.
And
absolutely.
That's why for the 7 pillars of the Ogden Way, they're the 7 pillars of human success. And if you think about each of the pillars, we feel that you have to have all of them sort of covered if you want to thrive in life.
Absolutely.
And one that people often forget about, especially in city service, is meaningful social connections.
Absolutely right.
Right.
I think that that's a lesson we all probably learned from COVID, right? Is how
Correct.
important it was to have interaction, social interaction with other people, other human beings. And so many people, when they come into my office or my coordinator's office and say they want to be a part of this program, a phrase that I hear pretty frequently is, I feel like I've outlived my usefulness.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And so we're just like, well, let's help you get it back then. Let's put a little bit of structure, a little bit of, oomph into your day and give you an opportunity to make somebody else feel that way too.
Having spent just our lunch hour with all of the senior companions that were there, I can't imagine any of them feeling that way. They had so much energy. There was so much life in that room.
Right, absolutely.
Right, and I think it's because they feel fulfilled with these connections with each other and with who they're serving as companions for, right?
Absolutely. And because we're federally funded, our target seniors to serve on our program are low-income seniors within 200% of the median poverty line. And so it gives them a small hourly stipend. So it gives them a little bit of reimbursement for their time, a little something that goes in their pocket that won't affect their housing or Social Security or any of the other resources that they may be receiving statewide, countywide. So because of that, we have to have measurable data. So we do reach out to the clients. We get the clients referred to us by various areas in the community, and then we go out and do a face-to-face assessment with them and kind of see what it is we can provide for them. And then at the end of our fiscal year, we reach out to them and see how the program has impacted their life. And that's the kind of data that we measure is, are they feeling more engaged in the community? Are they feeling less isolated? Do they feel like their life has a purpose? All of these kind of markers that we have to measure that really show us what they're out there doing. And it's amazing to see. They always write something like, thank God for senior companions. Some of them, we've noticed an increase in our senior population of suicidal ideation. And we got a letter from one of our clients stating, I just really didn't see the meaning or the point of anything. And then my senior companion came along and got me out of the house for the first time in 3 years. We went to Javier's and had some Mexican food, and it brought me back to life. So these are the impact stories that keep us going from year to year, and that is probably part of the energy and the rapport that you saw with our seniors at the luncheon.
Well, okay, so I talked to a lot of the companions, obviously, and first of all, hearing some of the stories was absolutely heartbreaking because they told me that there's a lot of people in our city that are just, they stay at home, they're unable to leave,
right,
and they don't see anybody
right,
for weeks on end, if not months.
right.
And so the companion program gives them the only connection to the outside life in some of the most dire circumstances.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
in the more routine, what struck me was that it's more accustomed for the companions to develop kind of lifelong friendships with the people they serve, and
Yes.
it becomes more than just a job and an assignment. It was definitely a personal connection.
Absolutely.
And it sounded to me like they go way above and beyond what the program delivers.
They do.
Right?
Yes.
Because it matters to them. Those people, and they matter to each other.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And there's no time limit or, for the duration that the clients can be on our program. They can literally be on it for the rest of their lives. And so really, they do build friendships with their companions long term. Because this is the person. And really, when you think about it, once you get to a certain age, your opportunities to meet new people and make new friends diminish. And so when we're introducing somebody brand new to their life at 60, 70, 80 years old, they get the opportunity to share all of their life experiences again. It's new to this person. And it does create a bond. It creates a great bond, and they become a member of the family to these clients. And it is amazing to see.
Well, especially when you think about how we meet people these days.
Right.
I mean, I'm way past. If I had to enter the dating world again, I don't know. That would be horrible.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Right. I would be terrible at it. But with so much interaction being social media and online anymore,
right,
it requires now that you have to be out and about in order to meet each other, meet new people, and build new friendships. And some of these people just can't get out and about like they used to.
Right. Of course.
And so they really don't have a choice. This program brings it to them. It's the only way they're going to find that human connection.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. And they can also, we kind of try to match them up based on similar interests. I mean, beyond we of course like them to be close in distance, but people that maybe would like to get back into scrapbooking, or people that want to get out and, see a show, or, maybe go to a play at the Terrace Playhouse, like all of these things that they thought that door had closed to them. To even be able to go see a movie. We get an independent grant through the Ralph Nye Foundation that awards us some funds for music and memory program, and then also just to re-engage in the arts. And so they can request tickets to like the Egyptian to see shows there, and also the movies. When the Elvis movie came out, oh my word. We could not get those tickets fast enough for them. But, things that are a luxury to us, going to a movie, going to Javier's, going and hanging out with your friend and having coffee, they haven't had those luxuries in so long. They completely eliminated even the prospect of them ever happening again. So if we can give that back to them, it just brings them so much joy that it is humbling. It's humbling to me to see these things that I take for granted every day that I can still do, these people haven't been able to do in a long time. So it is there's so much joy in gifting those experiences back to them.
Yeah. Another thing that really struck me was how many companions there are, but two, how long they've been doing it.
Right.
How many years are some of these companions?
So I
involved?
think probably the average is from like 5 to 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the range.
That's the range. And we of course have new ones that have just come on, but yeah, we've got they love the way that it makes them feel. So as long as they're physically able to do it, they're going to do it. And when they have to, we've had a couple that have had to go on medical leave this year, and they're just like, I love this so much. I hope that I can come back and do it again, because really that and death are the only reasons that people usually go off of our program. So yeah, they love.
Well, do you remember the number of hours offhand?
Oh yeah, 23,000.
Astronomical.
23,000, yeah, from the last year.
But what about, there was one volunteer that was like 80,000 lifetime hours. Am I getting that right from memory?
No, I think she had like 36,000 lifetime hours. Yeah.
Okay, it was just
Jackie,
a huge number of hours. I'm like, and she's been doing it for years and years and years. And it speaks to the commitment within the program.
Oh, definitely.
And if just an observation on my part, is the energy from the companions was so good that it reminds me that when you have these meaningful social connections with each other, it's more than just a social connection. It's more than just hello, how are you? It actually lengthens and improves your health.
Absolutely.
And your well-being, right?
Yes. Yes.
And to me, what I felt in that room from all of those volunteers was the reflection of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that, because with my position as director, a lot of what I do is the behind the scenes thing, the financials, making sure that I'm working with fiscal, I'm working with our portfolio manager to kind of do all of those things that are behind the scenes that require less interaction with the volunteers. So when I get to see them and we get them together, we have these ongoing trainings that they participate in, as well as our recognition event. I feed off that energy and then use it for whatever tasks that are coming up that are a little less fun, and whatever. I use that energy from them, because they are so willing. Every time I pull one of them in and I say, hey, listen, I've got this client. I know that your schedule's pretty full, but she's so sweet and she just wants somebody to talk to. I just met this lady about 2 weeks ago in the Terrace. And again, because of my job duties, I don't get to do the face-to-face assessments very often. That usually is what my coordinator does. But I got to sit and meet with her, and she was sharp as a tack, and she knew all this history of Ogden because she's lived here forever. So we talked about when Ogden High was built and, excuse me, during the war, and the barracks, because she lived close to the barracks that are up there in the Terrace. And she just wanted somebody to come and chat with her for 2 hours. And their willingness to say, oh yeah, I know my schedule is full, but I can get her in 2 hours a week. I would love to meet her. They're always willing to take on whatever I present to them. And it makes me so happy that they're getting so much out of the program that they're wanting to give it back. And they're always willing to give it back.
Yeah, it's less work. It's more life's work.
Absolutely.
For them, right?
Absolutely.
And I love how it pairs income restricted people who are below a median income with an opportunity through the grants and so on to really deliver this service.
For sure, yes.
Do you ever find that when you're there, or when your companions are there, that they find that there's a need for a service that someone else provides? What I'm saying is there ever an opportunity for your companions to be connectors to other services?
Oh, absolutely. That is such a great question. Yes. Part of our education that we do with our companions is what services are available for their clients, and how, we can connect them with other services, whether it be within our own aging department or within the county or the city. Yes, that is part of what we do. And they are very knowledgeable. In fact, I just had one of them text me today and say, oh, this person is a caregiver and needs help with these and these and these services. I contact so-and-so, right? And I'm like, good job.
There you go.
They, and then when they can be a help in connecting seniors with other services, it's very empowering to them. Like, oh, I know what we can do to help. And they're really good at that too. So
that is a bigger challenge than people give it credit for.
For sure it is.
Is
yes.
knowing what services there are, where to take advantage of them, and how to take advantage of them.
Absolutely right. Well, just like you were saying earlier about our program, when you were like, I had no idea this existed. We run into that all the time. And I feel like we're doing nothing but going out and talking and putting magnets on our companions' cars and, being in the paper and being in the malls. I feel like we're just saturating the community with our information and our name. But really, no, there's always people that are kind of in the recesses of things that don't know about us.
Well, it speaks to the diversity of our city, really.
Oh, for sure.
And the broader community outside of Ogden. We're the greater Ogden community, if you will.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Ogdens out there, and that's the beauty of Ogden is if you put yourself in new places and new positions, you're gonna see new things and meet new people.
Absolutely.
There wasn't a single person at that luncheon that I knew. Not one.
Great.
And usually I go places I know somebody.
Yeah, right.
Not that day. And so it spoke to me of a deeper engagement that I need to be doing, which is why we came in part, right?
Right, of course.
But it also speaks to the breadth and depth of Ogden, in my view.
Of course. There is such a diverse population and community just right outside our doors.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the wonder about that too, is you would never think that, we've got an 80-year-old senior companion that's going to visit this client and they're being exposed to an entirely different way of life or a culture or a religion. And that happens a lot too. What we share and what makes us different can also be an experience for us to learn and bond. Like, this person is teaching me. We have one of our companions her client does genealogy, and she's doing the genealogy for the companion, and the companion's like, I never knew these people.
Wow.
And just so, you're right, it is so diverse here, and there are so many opportunities for us to learn and grow through the people that we meet. It's amazing.
Well, and it goes for your staff too. I also noticed that, by the way. Your staff was very happy.
Oh, yeah.
And kind. And the support staff, whether they're in the program or in ancillary programs.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about a lot of programs that day.
Right, we did.
But everybody seemed joyful.
Oh, yes.
I just felt a sincere connection to the work that they do. That is giving them a sincerity in their impact and their purpose in life.
For sure. For sure. Yes. And we kind of try to, when we do get people that are interested in our programs, particularly the AmeriCorps Seniors programs, there's 3 branches, which I was just bombarding you with. I mean, it was just like, I've got your ear. Let me fill it with everything I know, even though you're only here for an hour. But yes, it was the retired senior volunteer program and the foster grandparent program. And when they come in and they're interested in giving back, we can cater their interest or background or fields of study that they had when they were younger to the area that they would be able to serve and would provide the most enjoyable experience for them.
Do you ever come upon somebody that just has such an amazing story to tell that you feel like it needs to be captured and monumented?
Yes, actually, all the time. And we had Joe McQueen. He was a companion on our program. He's kind of an Ogden legend.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows Joe McQueen. And he was a companion on our program for a lot of years, and then he became a client. And so we, in turn, were able to serve this pillar of our community in a way that, pay forward what he had provided for our program. And I think that our seniors kind of go under the radar a little bit.
A lot.
And and they have done amazing, amazing things in their life. But to them, they were just living life, and they were just, it seems so inconsequential to them. And then they'll just mention it just capriciously one day, and you're going,
wow.
No, wait. Can we talk about that for a second?
Right.
Can we talk about your experience with prisoners of war that came and worked, and can we talk about the impact that had on you to then serve people are of a certain nationality, that you're healing a hurt that you feel we caused during this war. So I want to make sure I'm serving a certain ethnicity, or I want to pay back compassion and love to this person. I mean, I feel honestly like I could sit any one of them down and they would have a story that is worth freezing in time.
Well, I think we all should have that story.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think I think we do. But I ask that question because we run into that occasionally too, where there's somebody that's so significant that has such an important story to tell that, I don't know, we take them for granted.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
We take each other for granted a lot. It's just part of the human condition, I guess.
Absolutely.
But we have had, I've got a lieutenant here at the police department who documents life stories like that on his podcast. And sometimes we've connected him with some of the stories we've found, especially around veterans in past wars. They have so much to share.
So much to share.
And it's like, it's really important that we are mindful of that.
Of course.
Right?
Of course it is. Yeah. I have said absolutely like 36 times. I'm just now realizing.
Absolutely. Have you?
Just every minute.
Well, I must be hitting the mark on some way.
I am just agreeing with you wholeheartedly.
I'm just nailing it, right? We'll just mark it up to that.
You're totally nailing it. But yeah, we encountered, in fact, a lady that I was talking to was telling me about when her dad came back from World War II and was put on a government program where they helped them get into housing and all of these things. And he was this tremendous war veteran. And he just came back from a war where he had won an award. I don't know if necessarily it was a Purple Heart, but he was a decorated war hero. And he just came back and went back to business, went back to normal life, and just got a job and provided for his family and just lived a relatively, nice, non-incidental life after that. But he had done all these tremendous things. And so I think you're absolutely right in that we overlook those kinds of people all the time that have done incredibly significant things in their life, but are just going on with life as normal.
There's a reason we call them America's greatest generation. And part of that is the humility of it all. The fact that they serve so selflessly, but then ask for nothing in return.
Right.
Including not even any recognition. And there's so much beauty in that. And at the same time, it would be really beautiful to document that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so in my experience, they don't want the credit. They're not eager to share because they don't want to gloat or whatever. But it's really important.
It is important
to capture.
It is important to capture that, and it is important to acknowledge that. I think that's you talk about the generations and you talk about the greatest generation, and everybody has their generational category that they fall into, and I feel as though we're getting down to these generations that want recognition for doing even the smallest of things.
I know where you're at.
Yeah. And so there's something that we all could learn, I think, from, hey, there's this person that you just walked by at the grocery store that has done tremendous things and says nothing. So maybe we could learn a little bit of, I think we could all stand to use a little bit of humility,
I love where you're headed, and I love watching you tap dance around it.
Trying to be so diplomatic about it. Like,
it's okay.
Just,
just say it, man. Just say it.
Well, even just like sometimes with my kids and wanting, my oldest is going to be graduating from high school, and they make this humongous deal out of graduating high school, and you're just going, this is literally the easiest part of life. So
I know.
Good job. It's only downhill. No, just kidding. But it's just, things are just going to get more difficult, and there's going to be much bigger hills that you're going to have to conquer in your life. But yay.
Well, there are, I was raised by parents that didn't make a big deal out of birthdays at all. Like at all. So it drives my wife crazy to this day. But I wonder if there's a partner out there that is a formal partner that does this specifically that we should be more engaged with, to where when we find these stories, we capture them.
There has to be.
You know, the timing of our conversation right now, we weren't planning on this coming up, but I just yesterday gave just a few remarks at an event to kick off the Pioneer Days.
Oh.
Right. And it was a convocation, and the theme is the pioneers. And we take for granted the fact that we had pioneers that came here and settled in. How much faith, how much family, and how much community, right?
Oh.
And reliance on one another, reliance on ourselves to get here, and that how much that carries through into our culture today, right? It's like built within us now.
Of course, right.
And the same is said for the greatest generation. These stories, we stand on their shoulders. And the reason that we had that event was so that we could stop taking it for granted. The reason we have Pioneers Days is to celebrate it and remember, right? And to honor it, because we owe it to our pioneers.
Absolutely do.
To be our best.
Right.
Instead of just taking all of this that we have for granted, right? And it's a reminder that we're all pioneers in our own ways.
We are.
It can't, right?
Right.
And what do we do with this responsibility that we inherited? And how will future generations look back on us?
Well, and even acknowledging that we have a responsibility. We did inherit a responsibility that we have, instead of, I mean, I've said it before. I'm like, I could never be a pioneer. Like, I would just like lay down and give up. I would never be able to go through what they went through to come here and bring and get their family here and make a home here and all of those things. But I can acknowledge that I have a responsibility in keeping those stories alive. I can acknowledge that I have a responsibility in teaching my children that we do stand on the shoulders of the people that came before us. Mm-hmm. I think that sometimes traditions and stories and things are lost throughout the generations. And I think we all have that responsibility. And it is a great time for us all to take a second to really ask ourselves, what are we doing to keep those stories going and to honor those that paved the way for us, right?
Right. And part of what we're doing is what you're doing. I
hope so.
You're keeping a program going that brings the people to the people that live these lives and have these kinds of stories, right?
Right.
Did you know that 54% of the pioneers were under the age of 18?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. And so the speaker, the main speaker, Brad Wilcox, asked, if you're under the age of 18, stand up. And it was about 54% of the crowd. And it was amazing to look out in the crowd to see the young faces, including my two daughters, 14 and 15, and what they would have gone through and how hard that would have been, right?
I'm going to take this information right home today.
Are you?
Just going to take it straight home to my kids.
Just what you thought we'd be talking about, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
But honestly, it goes to show the significance of the interactions your companions are having, though.
For sure it does. For sure it does. And having having this person to share their experience with it, it's going to be new, and having somebody that will take that as fresh information and not, oh, mom's telling this story again, or, oh, I've heard this story a million times. Or I think that we could definitely incorporate that. We do have, as our clients kind of near the end of their age, or the end of their life, they want to write letters to their children, or they want to write their life story.
Yeah.
And I think that this would be, just like you said, when bringing up Pioneer Day, this would be a good opportunity for me to talk to all of my companions about getting the life stories of their clients. Maybe there are some that haven't shared that, or maybe there's experiences that haven't been shared, or, I think it would be a good opportunity to bring those up so that we could acknowledge them,
right,
and carry them forward.
Well, maybe I'll take this chance to see who out there is well positioned to help us document these things,
right,
in a more formalized way, in a more structured
right,
way, that is, because it takes resources to do it at scale, right?
There has to be somebody that collects this kind of information.
Well, there's I remember NPR did the stories. Mm-hmm. I'm not naming it the right thing, but yeah, it's out there, and
right,
and we've done some of it through a grant that we had, where we could reach out to to past participants in various parts of our history who could tell the stories.
Right.
And Shane does it more as a hobby because he sees the significance and the importance of it, and he finds fulfillment through that. But anyway, we're down a rabbit hole, I guess.
We absolutely got down a rabbit hole, and it was great.
But these are the kinds of conversations I had around the table too.
Right.
This is not uncommon.
No.
Right?
No, it's not uncommon. And I think even in our own families, my mom's a member of the DUP, the Daughters of the Utah Pioneers, and she knows all of the stories. And I'm kind of like one of those people that I'm talking about where I'm like, oh, yeah, tell me the story about how, our pioneer ancestor made a doll out of a stick again. You know what I mean? But that story to somebody else would be, oh my word, please, like, tell me more. So I think that we all have access to a treasure trove of stories that we need.
Correct. How long have you been director for this program?
5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
Is there a story or an example that is like your favorite that you want to share?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or an experience?
There is. Let me just think about it.
Trying to get it down to one.
For a second. Okay, yes. Try to get it down to one. Okay. Yes, there was this gentleman that I met with, and he was just a gruff, kind of maybe borderlining on cynical when we met him and brought him onto the program. And my coordinator and I were just talking about who we could assign him to because he was kind of a tough one. But I did find another gentleman that could go and visit him. And I got a call from this client. It was maybe a month and a half later, and he sounded like a completely different person. And at first I didn't recognize him, and I couldn't quite place his name I just couldn't quite identify him because he was so different. And he was telling me that his companion took him on a walk just along the river walk, and they sat and chatted, and he said, I didn't even know that place is just a couple miles from where I live, and I didn't even know it was there. And he said, I got to sit out in the sun and talk about things that I hadn't talked about in a long time, like when I was in high school and when I joined the service. And I just feel so good. I haven't felt like that in so long. I haven't even felt the sun on my face in so long. And it just gave me pause because this was this same person in his apartment with the shades drawn, and it was dark, and there wasn't a great feeling there, and you didn't get a great energy from him. And all of a sudden he was just chipper and chatty and so excited to share this simple experience that he had transformed him and his entire outlook. Simple.
Wow. Yep.
It wasn't anything that cost any money. It wasn't anything huge. It was literally taking him to a walking path 2 miles from his house and letting him sit in the sun. How simple.
How simple, but how significant too.
Right.
It's so simple and stupid, but at the same time, it's so significant. It's serious. It's profound. I remember I was in New York City one time, and it was just overcast. It was like in the winter, cold, gray, and just kind of gloomy. And New York City is an amazing city. No matter the time of year, there's always stuff to do. But when you spend enough time there, especially from here where I'm used to mountains and sunshine and skies.
Right.
I didn't realize how much I was struggling until the moment I broke out of the buildings to go see the Statue of Liberty, and the sun was out, and I got out of the shadows of the buildings. And I'll never forget how that sunlight made me feel in that moment. It reinvigorated me like immediately. And there's a science to that, right? It's the sun exposure and the vitamin, whatever comes with it. But can you imagine going months on end without it?
No. And just your home becoming confining to you.
Yeah, like that's the boundaries of your world.
Right.
Well, you're doing a good job. You're doing a great thing.
Thank you.
You're expanding the boundaries of the world for a lot of people. And I have to think, and maybe you've done an informal analysis, but if you were to compare life expectancy or quality of life measures for those that are in the program versus those that are not,
Of course.
I have to think you would see a significant difference.
Absolutely. Even in just studying the effects of socialization and getting outside and being active on reducing chronic conditions, chronic pain, depression. I mean, it's amazing to see those statistics. And also, just a side note, Utah, like in the course of our nation, we're the third largest as far as an aging population goes. Our aging population is growing the third fastest in our entire nation. So we will eventually have, I can't quite remember which year it is. I just barely had it on my head. But there will be a time in the next, I think it's by 2030, where the seniors will outnumber the people under 18.
Wow.
So it's important to focus on our senior population. So
it is. And I appreciate you coming to visit with us today. And
thank you for having me.
I think this is such a great example of the importance of the seventh pillar.
Yes.
Meaningful social interactions, right?
It absolutely is. Thank you.
It cannot be understated. So we talked a little bit about how to get involved in the program. Can you share more about if anybody here is watching?
Oh, of course.
They're thinking this might be a good thing for me or for somebody that you know. Right, to participate in it. Can you give us more information on how to get connected?
Yes, of course. You can just go to weberhs.net and click on the volunteer services there, and it will show you the different AmeriCorps seniors programs. Or you can contact me directly, and I would just love to chat with you if you're interested in being a part of our program.
Okay, we'll put your contact info on the bottom of the.
Wonderful. Yes.
Somewhere like right here.
Right, like right, like there. Yeah, not here or here so much, but like right there. Yeah.
Okay, Tommy boy.
Only people a certain age would ever get that reference, right?
I think that's the only pop culture reference I've ever gotten, actually. So it goes to show you how mature I am.
And me too.
Right. Well, we like to kind of wrap up our shows with the call to action.
Okay.
And I'm really hopeful there's people out there that feel a connection to this calling. And
certainly.
So I think that's a really good call to action for today's episode.
Great.
If this is something that resonates with you, if you find yourself longing for more connection, whether you know somebody that needs that connection and wants to participate in the program, whether as a client or as a companion. Right.
Either or. Yep.
Right. Get in touch with the information here. Not so much here or here, but right here. Get in touch with the program, become a companion or become a client, and build a bond and build a bridge with our fellow man, right?
We would love to have you, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. That is another episode of the Ogden Way podcast. Again, we tell the stories of Ogden by telling the story of Ogden's people. And today we're thankful to have you. And thank you for being one of our people. Thank you for making our city better. And thank you for being everything that is the Ogden Way.
Thank you.
Okay.